Well, hey, folks. Thanks for jumping in here. We've got Mud Pie Girl. Hello. Duncan 1900 Homestead. Wheat Tree. Thank you so much for your early message there. I totally overlooked that. And Will is here. He's back in the green room. Field grown rare fruit and vegetable. Well, hello. Don't recognize that name. Welcome to the stream here this evening. Dustin Dean, how you doing? Andy. Okay, we can stop fretting since you're here now, Andy. Greeting Tree Farm. Hello. Well, listen. Let me get our guest over here. And I just created some special screens for him. So, Will, you are live, sir. You can say hello to everybody.
How's everybody doing tonight? Good to see you. Glad to be back on the air. Hope everybody is well.
So you've been away for a while.
Yeah, I took a couple months off, just spending some time with the family, doing the holiday thing, but you know, getting back into it. Shot some video with a couple friends over the last couple days and posted a couple myself. And, you know, I kind of said, I'm going to take, you know, basically the holiday season and part of the first quarter off. And now that April's come around, I'm back and shot 2 more videos. They should be up hopefully in the next couple weeks and getting back into the swing of things. So it's been good.
Well, you done with all the fireworks for a couple months?
Actually, interesting you bring that up because I just did a show. What was it, last Thursday for the Minnesota Twins. They had their grand home opener in Minneapolis here, so we just we did an event for them, something where they ran out on the field and we did some stuff and did some stuff for home runs and that kind of stuff, so that was kind of fun. And then a couple weeks prior to that, Minnesota United, which is Minnesota's soccer team, they had their big home opener and we did something for that. So, you know, I've done a couple shows on and off here and there. Next one's going to be sometime probably in June or July, I'm guessing, but I haven't looked at the schedule recently, but something could have come up by then. Yeah,
for those of you in the room that maybe don't know, Will is a pyrotechnician. I think that's the way it's said. And he does all the fireworks at a lot of concerts and various events.
Yep.
Sets them all up, and so when the event's over and everything blows up in the background, he's the one that's pushing the buttons. So. Yep.
Probably my biggest event recently that I've done, the Super Bowl back in February was the last real big event. So.
Okay, we just moved a couple things around here, so all right.
No problem.
Well, I know one of the things that I wanted to bring up here tonight was the multi-channel networks, I think is what it's called. Is that what it is?
Yep, MCN.
MCNs.
Yep.
And we've had some different people ask, you know, hey, I've been contacted by this network. They want me to join. And don't know if they should or not. So maybe you can explain exactly what a multi-channel network is and what, you know, the pros and cons.
Sure. No, that's I actually get a lot of emails on that because, like, if you look on Social Blade or you look on TubeBuddy or any of those websites, it'll say who the channel is owned by, and if it's by yourself, it's unowned or not owned, or it'll say Outdoor Network or Full Screen or Studio 76 or Maker Studio. Like, these are all names that you've seen on different YouTubers and different channels. And what a multi-channel network is basically, think of it as an agency that manages the financial side of a YouTube channel. And I'll be honest with you, and very straightforward, a lot of people have negative opinions of multi-channel networks. And I'm not here to sell them on anybody. I'm not here to say they're the greatest thing out there. They might be a great thing for you. They may not. But what we were talking about earlier was, you know, if you look up the Weekend Homestead, it says it's owned by Fullscreen. And people are like, well, wait a second, you're kind of a small startup channel. How did you get into a network, or what is a network, and why are you doing it? Aren't they just taking your money? Which is the first thing that everybody thinks is, oh my gosh, they're going to take 90% of your money and they're not going to give you anything, and you're going to get, you know, all sorts of problems. And
Sounds
at least
like
with
Google.
the one that I'm at, I haven't had any of those issues at all. And actually, I get a lot of benefits out of
I couldn't hear you
what I use it for. So,
it's a delay.
are we okay?
Yeah, we're fine.
Oh, sorry.
Sherry always jumps in here and helps out in the chat, but she's listening to the actual stream, so she's a little bit delayed.
So you see me doing this, and you're like,
yeah. She's a little behind, so we got to catch her up.
All right. Well, so I guess let me jump into this for a second. So what these networks do is they contact creators and say, hey, we want to manage your channel, we want to do things for you, and so on. There are ones out there that are questionable, you know, where they don't really do anything for you. For me, what Fullscreen does is first off, they manage all of my AdSense money, all of my charges from YouTube, everything. So if I get a super chat, if I get paid from advertising or anything like that, all that money is collected by them. I never have to go chase YouTube. I never need to make sure that it's correct or anything like that. And they pay me on a regular basis once every month. The second thing that they do for me is they aggregate a significant number of creator services. A lot of people say to me, Will, you got a lot of different music that you use on your channel. You got a lot of different music sources. Where do you get your music from? Where do you get your B-roll video from? Where do you get all those things from? Those are actually provided to me by my service provider. So in a sense, what they do is they provide things like if you want to get t-shirts made, if you want to get music, if you want B-roll, if you need graphics, if you need all sorts of different things, they have all these different services. So like I get Epidemic Sound, I get Jingle Punks, I get Audio Micro, and I get Video Micro service for free just by being part of the network. And you're probably scratching your head going, well, wait a second, Will, they're taking a big percentage of your money. Why would you let them do that when you could go buy those services yourself? Well, it's very simple. For Audio Micro agreement, it's $240 a year to get music from them license free. For Jingle Punks, it's about $100. Epidemic Sound, I think it's $50 a month, which comes out to like $600. Some of the t-shirt services are pretty expensive. Well, I'm a fairly small channel, and as you guys know, AdSense doesn't pay very well. It just doesn't. I make maybe $60 a month, $50 a month. Well, Fullscreen, they take 20%. Well, if you took 20% of $60, it doesn't really add up to much. I think I'm getting charged $9. So you're probably wondering, well, Will, why would you let them take, you know, that 20% from you? I'm paying $9 to have access to hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of free music and material. So why wouldn't I take it? You know, that's kind of how I look at it. So if you're a smaller channel and you can become part of the right MCN, yeah, let them take the 10%, 20%, whatever the number is that they take. But in exchange, you get access to hundreds and hundreds of dollars of large creator services that you normally have to pay out of pocket. So I look at it like I'm getting a better deal out of it. You know, I don't get hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views per video. You know, I'm just getting started, just like a lot of people who are watching this tonight. And the reason why I got involved with it is because I figured if I could get access to all this great media and all this great content and use it for free with no cost and never have to worry about copyright claims, because if I get a copyright claim, I email a guy who's a tech support guy for me for Fullscreen, and he answers my question. How many emails have you sent to YouTube? And they actually answer your question. A lot of people think, you know, I know a lot about YouTube and how it works or how the different algorithms or settings work. Well, I find that stuff out because I have a guy I can email. I email Taylor, and within 24 hours, he usually sends me an email with all my answers. And it works out great. If I have a copyright claim, I don't email YouTube. I email him, and he takes care of it for me. So that's the reason why I'm part of a network and kind of the background on it. In all reality, is it the right thing for everybody? No. But if you find the right one and you use it the right way, I think it could be beneficial for a channel that's getting started.
Okay. Certainly makes sense. And I hope this is real good information for you folks in the room here. Another question that I have is, if you were approached by somebody, and I've seen this on a number of channels where this video has been sponsored by ABC Company, you know, with the, okay, are you able to do that?
Sure.
Or
well, let me pause for a second and say, in my scenario, absolutely. So my MCN said I can go find my own sponsorship deals. In fact, I got a deal with Avalon Bay. They made a bunch of kitchen appliances, and they sent me a couple of them. They're like, hey, if you do a review on the video, we'll give you the, you know, the appliance or whatever it is. And there's a couple other folks. So mine allows me to do that. There are other ones. I might speak out of turn here, but I think it's called Outdoor Videos or Outdoor Life or something like that. They focus specifically on folks who have outdoor videos or homesteading channels, camping, that kind of stuff. And they do have some requirements about, you have to get the okay to do a sponsorship deal because they want to focus on outdoor stuff. So let's say you're an outdoor guy and somebody says, hey, I'll give you a bunch of beauty stuff to do eyeliner videos or something like that, and it's not part of what they're kind of sponsoring or they're selling to their advertisers, that then, you know, there is issues like that. And I think that's one of the spots where people have sore feelings about MCNs is they're like, oh, they tell you what you can do and you can't do. Well, some of them do. If you get into the outdoor one and they sell your advertising to outdoor people and you make additional money on outdoor stuff, you have a scenario where all of a sudden, if you start doing stuff that's not in the genre that they're in, they might have an issue with it. Mine, they don't care. They're like, have as many sponsorship deals as you want, produce as many videos as you want, you know, just keep going. So. Okay,
there's Brown Coat Homestead. Is that the one you were flagging me? As asked in the chat here. Is it 10% monthly, weekly, or how? And Grizz says something about it's not compounded, it's off the gross. So,
yep, it's off the gross. So if I get paid $80 and they take 10%, they take $8 and send me a check for $72. Just that simple. Now, let's talk about one other thing, because this is the most common question that I get is, do you have to sign a contract? Yes, you do. You have to sign a contract. And I would recommend reading that contract. My contract says it's a 1-year agreement. They get to take X percentage of the money, and they will provide me X services. It says it in writing, plain as day, right up front. Hey, here's all the stuff that we're going to give you. Here's what we're going to take. Very limited, what is the word? Limitations. Like, they don't want anything super graphic, you know, like some very bad viral video that, you know, like, you know, bad stuff. I can't even think of an idea, something that's bad, but, you know, something violent or overly sexual or super bad language or anything like that. They have stuff in there that says that, but for the most part, you know, I don't plan on doing that anyways. I'm a family channel, you know, that's not really my style. So I didn't have any issues with that. But the one trick on it is you have to read how to get out of it also, because that's something that a lot of people ask is like, how do you get out of a contract in MCN? Because there's all these creators, like, you can, if you type in MCN videos and look it up, there's a lot of people who are saying, oh, I couldn't get out of my agreement, or they took all my stuff, or they own whatever it is. Well, they probably didn't read their agreement when they signed the deal. And yes, there are some agencies out there that do that kind of stuff. The one I'm with, they're like, when you want to be done, you know, mine goes from January to December. At the beginning of December, Taylor sends me an email and says, hey, Will, do you want to do this for another year? Yes or no? I hit no. Everything's good to go as of January 1. If I hit yes, everything's good to go as of January 1. So that's the big thing, is I think people get caught up in the, well, I'm in an agreement and I can't get out of it. So that's, you know, and where they make their money is big channels more than anything else. You know, somebody who's getting $5,000 a month, you know, that's 10%. It's $500 for them. That's you know,
so if somebody was looking at this, would it behoove them, in your opinion, to actually contact an attorney, to have an attorney look over this agreement before they sign something?
Yeah, I mean, you could do that. The agreements are, I deal a lot with contract law in my regular business and everything else, and I'll be quite honest with you, this is 3 pages of the easiest thing you've ever read. It says what they'll do, it says what you'll do, it says how it ends. There's no weird legal jargon and pages of stuff. I mean, if somebody gives you a contract like that, I would say that's a gigantic red flag. Most of them are like, hey, we're going to do these services in exchange. We're going to do this. Here's when we start. Here's when we end.
Okay, for some reason, Will, we just lost your audio.
All right, can you hear me now?
There, yep, can hear you now.
2, 3.
Oh, we got 2 and 3.
All right. It says I'm screaming here for internet-wise. I mean, I'm...
Okay. Yeah, for some reason, it just dropped off, so nobody got the last part of what you were just saying there. And,
okay.
I wasn't quick enough to read the lips, so...
Wow, what were we saying? Which part?
I think you were talking about the how small and concise the agreements are, at least was what you've seen.
Yeah, like some of them are really simple and straightforward. If somebody gives you a 16-page document and uses a bunch of words that you don't understand, I would say that's a big red flag. Most of them are pretty straightforward. Who are you? Who are they? What are they going to do? What are you going to do? How much are they going to get? How long does it go for? That's it. You know,
okay.
It's just that.
You mentioned that they pay you monthly. Now with AdSense, with YouTube, you have to have a threshold before they'll issue you a check.
Yep.
Is this same thing apply there?
It does, because what happens is I acknowledged in YouTube's terms and conditions that they're sending the money and sending everything to full screen and not sending it to me. So YouTube has a threshold of a certain number of hours and a certain number of subscribers before you're part of the program. Well, this applies to the same thing. MCN won't look at you or consider you until you're an authorized YouTube partner, which means that you're earning AdSense, because quite honestly, that's how they make their money. And then the second item is whatever you get paid in whatever cadence it is. So let's say you haven't met the minimum threshold to get a payment from AdSense, then what would happen is they would accrue those credits up until you got enough to get a payment from YouTube, and then they would pay out. Then after that point, as long as you stayed above the level, you would continue to get the money. Just like AdSense, you would continue to get.
Okay. And the only reason I asked is you made the comment, 10% of the $80, take $8 off, pay you $72. Well, that's under that $100 thing. So that's the only reason I brought it up.
Yep. No worries. Sorry, I'm moving my chat here so I don't look down on the floor constantly. There we go. It's a lot easier. I'm trying to follow along with the chat as we're going, and I'm talking away, and of course.
Well, and I've got a note because
that Big Bear Homestead in the chat there.
Yes, it is.
You doing? Haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah, Jason, how you doing? And I see Deep South Homestead is in the chat. Jerry Arnold. And I apologize too. My chat's over here, and my camera's over here, and Will's over here, and my video thing is here.
I'm on a good topic when you see the hands start going and the screen gets kind of blurry and the speech speeds up. So.
And then if I watch the stream, I'm way behind like Sherry is, and we're just lost here. But we try. So it sounds to me like it's not necessarily a bad thing.
I would say, to be perfectly honest, you don't need to go this route. What I did was I looked at the math and said, I don't want to mess around with trying to get music because I like to use different music in all of my stuff. It's just kind of part of my style. I like the fact that I had somebody I could talk to if I had questions on stuff. Like, hey, why is this doing this? Or, hey, this video got flagged. Can you take a look at it? That kind of stuff. I didn't like the idea of sending emails to YouTube and emailing into the black hole. So if I get paid $60 a month, which most starting YouTube channels don't get very much money, and I have to pay them 10%, that's $6. Paying $6 to have access to thousands of dollars worth of music and a person to talk to, and they even have a community forum where you can post questions in there, and then other experts will answer the questions and so on. That kind of stuff I thought was worth it.
Okay.
A lot of people are scared about it because you have to sign an agreement. They're like, they're going to take your stuff. Yep, some of them will if you don't sign with the right one, or if you don't read what the agreement is. I'll be straight with you. There are shady characters.
I would think there would be some sort of a clearinghouse where somebody had started a thing out there, basically comparing all these. But I've not looked, so I maybe I'm just speaking out of turn. But it sounds to me like that would be an ideal thing to get going. Just to compare all these MCMs and or MCNs. I'm sorry. And well, this is a good one. This one does this other one does that. Here's one to stay away from. I don't know. Are you aware of anything like that?
As far as I know, there isn't, because a lot of them. So there's two types. There's the ones where they go out headhunting for big channels. Like I'll give you an example. I think Rango Star is part of Studio 76.
71, I think. Studio 71, I believe.
Something like that, or 71 Studio. That one is one that goes out and headhunts specific people, and they try to recruit them, and it tends to be larger channels. There's some of them that just blanket emails to everybody and try to get whoever they possibly can, and who knows what services they offer. And then the one that I'm on was an invite-only one, where somebody else I knew that was part of it said, hey, I know you're getting into YouTube. I have a buddy over here. He could get you into this or not. Here's what they're offering. Here's what it is. Would you like to do it? And, I got an email. I talked to the guy on the phone or talked to the guy through email, and then, boom, I was up and running. So, that's how I got in. But every one of them is different, and there's no two that are the same. So.
And for you folks out there, for some reason, right now it's not broadcasting. There we go. We seem to be having a little bit of internet issues here right now.
Okay. Fine, here, I'll do a quick speed test to see.
I mean, it's still broadcasting, but it's way down. The quality is way down, so I'm guessing you're getting some spinning. Yeah.
I double checked mine, and I'm at 80 megs up and 15 megs down, so I'm solid on my side.
Okay. And folks, I apologize. I'm just checking a couple things here.
I was reading through the chats, and Jason put, do they pull the same crap as YouTube when it comes to ads? Let me answer that this way. The scenario where there is one problem with the system, which is no matter what happens, we're still reliant on AdSense, in the sense of YouTube's advertising mechanism is the one that, how do I describe it, is kind of the catalyst to start this whole thing. So if they flag your video on YouTube as not satisfactory for advertisers, you can click the button and hit review. And I sent emails to Taylor, and for whatever reason it gets straightened out. I don't know if they have a clearinghouse or a way to take care of that. But then if your video is flagged and they don't turn it back to get advertising, that means you're not earning revenue on it. So they can't really help you with that part of it, because the first part of that is YouTube, so we can't change that part. Now, one thing I do know is if you're a larger channel, and some of the channels out there that they consider kind of larger are between that 10 and let's say 100,000 subscribers, which is a fairly large channel. Some of them have a two-tier system where you can get the regular advertisements that pay, let's say, a CPM of 4.5, but then, did we lose you? But then there's also ones that will pay up to $8 or $9 because they put premium ads. I don't know if you ever noticed, but on some of the farming channels, all of a sudden there's really nice ads for Kubota and there's really nice ads for John Deere. Well, in those scenarios, those advertisers are gaining extra. Hold on, folks. Keep talking, Will. Daryl is downstairs figuring out what's going on. Streaming is off. Actually, I'm just so you know, on my B connection here, it says that you guys aren't streaming. It says Skype is good on this one, but I'm pulling it down on LTL or Verizon LTL service, and it's saying it's not working. I think I broke the internet.
Okay, Will, I'm back, and hopefully we will be a little better here.
No worries. I was just saying, and that's how you make $1 million on YouTube. Really, it's 3 easy steps. I'm glad we could cover it. Everything's good. I'm kidding, Daryl.
Well, and I apologize because our internet is normally much, much better than this. But
we had a video that was how to make laundry pods that got flagged by people eating Tide Pods. Wow. I've never heard of that before. I can send, Jason, I have your email address. What I'll do is I'll send an email to Taylor and find out what they do. My question is, did you get a strike on your account, or was it just the video was flagged and not available for monetization? Because there is a difference there. If you get strikes on your account, I know that they have the ability to help with that scenario. If it's unfriendly for advertising, it's one of those items where they might be able to help get it reviewed, but I don't think that they're going to. If YouTube won't advertise on it, I don't know if they can force YouTube to advertise on it. That's the only thing I don't know.
Well,
I'll write it down and see.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because I fully expect for this live stream to be unfriendly to advertisers when we're done.
Is it my eyebrows?
I think our live stream last night was unfriendly to advertisers when we were done. It's every live stream that we do here, and we certainly are not in the graphic content thing, but you know, I appeal them, and then they do turn it back on 1 or 2 days later. But as you well know, with the live stream, here's our audience right now, and right. So it helps with things like view numbers and what have you, as far as your time viewed, time spent on videos, user participation. It helps with all that. But from anything else, when people come in, it certainly doesn't help on a monetary standpoint. And
let me ask you this question: when you appeal, so there's a button underneath there that says review, and you can click it, and it'll allow you to review the video, and then. Like, I've clicked it, and within 24 hours, even not even 24 hours, I've had it a couple hours. Like, I had a video that I posted last weekend on Saturday, and it got flagged for not suitable for advertising. So I clicked the button, and by dinner time that day, it was clear.
Sometimes that happens, but sometimes it takes a couple days. There's no rhyme or reason for it. And, of course, they have their disclaimer on there that says, we only have time to review a video that's got 1,000 views in a week or something. Well, that's stretching it for us.
Well, so on the example that I just gave on the Saturday thing, I had 280 views when I clicked the flag button, and I thought the same thing, like, oh, it's never going to get reviewed or whatever it was. And later that day, I was about 340 views on that same video, so it went up a little bit. I'm just getting back into it again, so I'm not seeing the momentum like I had before in the past. And they still flipped it and said it was fine. So I don't know. I haven't experienced too many advertiser not friendly ones, but for whatever reason, I clicked it. I didn't have 1,000 reviews, and it flipped the video available for monetization.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's and we talked a little bit about if you are a member, these MCMs, a lot of them do allow you to do some, I'm going to say, third-party income things of the sort where you maybe get either a material good that you get to keep, or in some cases, I'm sure there's cash passed.
Oh yeah. No, I had one vendor come to me right after Christmas and offered, a couple $100 to review one of their products and a couple samples or whatever it was. I didn't really like the what they were offering or how they were pitching it, so I really didn't feel it was good for the audience. But those types of deals, it says in the agreement that you can make agreements with other companies to advertise things on YouTube. It's just you can't agree to have that company, like let's say this company here that made this water bottle came to me and said, we're going to give you $100 plus these water bottles, and then you have to give us your advertising revenue off of YouTube for it. You can't do that. You can't commit the advertising revenue, but they're going to give me cash. They mail me a check, I deposit it in my account, and go from there.
Okay. And I'm going to ask Grizz or somebody in the room here, has the stream straightened up now? Are we working okay? It appears that we have. So we'll just... Homestead Dad, good evening. How you doing tonight? Okay, let's jump away from the MCMs for just a moment. And...
By the way, just to finish one thing, Jason, I wrote down a note about that question about the strike piece and the flag piece, and I'll email you probably sometime tomorrow on it when I get done at work.
And of course, our regular subject here is editing videos. So maybe nobody wants to talk about that tonight. I don't know. We'll kind of leave it up to you folks what direction you'd like to go here this evening. But I do have the short promo that I did for tonight's show. I have that up on the screen here. If anybody has any questions as to how that was assembled, put together, we'll just kind of ask you here. I don't have a per se topic. Nobody emailed me that they were having problems with anything. And I'm just kind of looking here on the in the chat window. I'm not seeing anything. I don't know where we need to go here. But the other thing that we can do, let me bring this one over. Okay. The phone number's on the screen. If anybody would like to call in, say hello to Will, or ask myself, or anybody else.
By the way, I have to say I've been I haven't watched a lot of videos or been anything like that, but the phone line live thing, along with the live video, along with the streaming and all this kind of stuff, it just amazes me the era of technology that we're in right now, in the sense of I can watch a video here while we're streaming a video here on a caller that's somewhere else in the United States who's dialing in, who can be part of this conversation. I don't know why it amazes me.
Well, it actually, it works out pretty well. We did a live show with Joel Salatin a couple of weeks ago, and we had him on the telephone. His internet where he lives is like yours at your cabin, I guess. Not pretty much non-existent, but he has a phone line, and so I actually called him. We did the whole show where he was on the phone. He had prepared a presentation, and of course that's something he does. But he had made a special presentation just for us that night, and he just told me what slide to have on the screen. Worked out very well. We had the call-in thing, and so if anybody would like to call in, the number is on the screen. You just need to turn down your YouTube while you're on the phone.
Did I lose you there? I can see you talking,
No.
but I can't hear you.
No, I'm. No, we should be good.
Okay, cool.
Deep South Texas. Are Filmora and Shortcut related? I'm going to say no, not to the best of my knowledge. I'm not familiar with Shortcut. Filmora is owned by a company called Wondershare, and they have a mobile editing program that is free. They have their regular full-blown computer program for both PCs and for Apple/Macintosh that are purchased. But one of the different things they have there, they have the option, and it's $10 more if I remember right. You can buy a year subscription to it for I think $50, or you can buy a lifetime subscription for $60, and you get all the updates from then on out. So every time they come out with a new version, it's just been an amazing program. And I looked at it from the standpoint, if I go fill up my 3/4 ton pickup truck, it costs me $60 to do that. So it's like a tank of gas, and I own it, and I get all the updates. And I'm not saying it's absolutely the best program out there, but it's very easy to use. It's very intuitive. You can do a lot of things with it. And over the past, I don't know how long we've been doing this, Sherry. When YouTube did away with their editor, that's when we started doing these shows for people. And I would say that through this show, we've probably sold 10 or 12 copies for these folks, which I'm not getting a dime. We are not affiliated with them in any way, shape, or form. And it's just been a good program.
Did you know? Well, here's a question for you. Does Filmora have a function in it where you can scrape videos off of different sources? So like you can type in a URL and it'll download the video for you?
I don't think so. I use a different program for doing that.
Gotcha. Only reason why I ask is, so the company Wondershare, the company I believe who makes Filmora, also makes a program called, I want to say it's like YouTube Download or something like that, and I have it on my Mac, and that's what I use. So a lot of people ask, well, how do you get like the little movie clips that you drop in sometimes, or how do you get the stuff that you do for compilations or work with other YouTubers on collaborations and stuff like that? And that's the program I use. They can send me a URL, I drop it in there, it downloads an HD version of it to my computer, and then you can do whatever you want with it at that point.
Yeah, I use, and I'll just bring it up here. I use a program called 4K Video Downloader. And I'll just slide that over here on the screen. This is what it looks like. You just copy and paste the URL in, and then you have the ability to download in an MP4 format in different qualities. Whatever video is on the screen. And I see Big Bear Homestead, did you see my question? I did not, but I will go look, so hang on.
Yeah, I just put something in the chat on that too. I went back and flipped through it, but my chat's a little goofy here. I'm slightly delayed. I can look at myself here, and then in 3, 2, 1, I can see myself here. So,
Jason, I'm not seeing a question.
He asked Premiere Changer how you do titles. The keyboard shortcuts changed. Any suggestions?
Is that in Adobe Premiere?
I figure I needed to get that
in Adobe Premiere? No, I do not use Adobe Premiere.
Well, the latest update of Adobe Premiere that came out, I want to say a month ago. As far as I know, if you're talking like the keyboard shortcuts where you can like do a Control N or Control P or those types of things. I believe all those stayed the same. It was just the layout of some of the headlines at the top that I thought were the changes. Someone else asked a question. I use Corel. I have to buy a new program every few years. Yeah, I've used Corel in the past. I've used Final Cut. I've used iMovie. I don't know much about Filmora, actually. I'm going to start taking a look at it, though. It looks kind of interesting.
Filmora is, in my opinion, it's a very good single camera editing program. Where it falls on its face is if you have multiple cameras that you want to join those together on the same scene at the same time. There's no good way to join them.
Jason is saying the control still works, but after that it is weird.
Oh, Control T for the toolbar?
Yes, sorry.
I'm wondering if it's the toolbar change. I haven't... I actually removed Premiere from my machine, and I'm moving back to Final Cut Pro just for reasons I didn't want to continue to pay for the subscription on the Adobe side of it, especially with already kind of having a Final Cut license. So I switched to that to kind of go back to what I used to use. But I thought they just changed how the toolbars were. I don't think they changed actually what the shortcuts were.
Yeah, Jason, I'm sorry, I can't really help you with Premiere Pro. I have a long history with Adobe products that's not good. I guess that's the best way for me to say it.
Yeah, I use pretty much Photoshop, and then I use Illustrator for some of the stuff I do for Instagram.
Well, I'm going to go way back into the PDF days where Adobe was the main player, and that's back when I was working for a company, and we had a lot of issues with them. So they make good products. Not arguing that. Don't misunderstand me, but they're not the easiest things to use, and they take a lot of horsepower.
The thing I didn't like about it is every time they would make a change or update something, let's say they went from 2017 to 18 or made some different updates, that one of the issues that ran... What was that?
Well, we just got a new subscriber, and so we were notified. So thank you, Lindsay S, for subscribing.
Love the look on Will's face. Just silence.
Wow.
Yeah, every time we get a new subscriber, when we're online, it notifies us and tells everybody, and we thank them.
That was... I don't even remember what I was saying now.
Little Creek Homestead asked, do you know of an editing program for an iPhone? If I'm not mistaken, Filmora will work on an iPhone.
I believe Filmora has a program that works on it.
Yeah.
Yep. If you do have an iPhone 2, and I happen to have one right here, in a pinch, I have used... let me see if I still have it on here. They have the iMovie app. So you just press that. And if you want to just do some basic stuff like, hey, here's create a project, and you can pick, I have a movie, and then you just pick your files and go, and then it'll let you just upload it right there. They have a couple little music clips and a couple little text clips. I know you can do that, and that's free on the iPhone if you wanted to try that.
Jason said that makes me want to unsub and resub. That was awesome.
Wait.
I saw the emails, Grandma Rose. I'm not sure if Daryl has yet.
I have not seen.
Okay, so he'll get into them tonight. Well, there's the 2 love bugs.
Oh.
Hey, it didn't do it. I unsubscribed and resubscribed, and it didn't do it.
Well, I do know that if you have your subscriptions hidden, that it doesn't do it.
That's why. For whatever reason, I just had that turned off because I don't want everybody to know about the video channels that I'm on to do eyebrow sculpting. So.
Yeah, what it is, just so you know, Will, and Jason, if you'd like to, it actually reads my email. When you get a new subscriber, you can be notified via email if they have that option turned on their channel, where they make it public as to who they're subscribed to. And so it sees the email and parses their name out of the email and puts it up on the screen. And I've got Smudge's picture, and we just thank him right there for joining the channel. So you don't see everybody, but it's fun.
Big Bear just put on here, teach me Obi-Wan Kenobi. So for Jason, you're Star Wars, and for Nina, you're Mr. Miyagi. Mr.
Miyagi. So, anyway.
Big Bear, Jason wants to learn how you did that.
Well, I will get with him at a later date here, and we will show him how we did that.
Well, and Lindsay said, and she's the one that just joined. She said her daughter sitting with me was just as thrilled as Will was tickled pink when you said, Lindsay, yes.
Well, thank you very much for subscribing. We appreciate it. We acknowledged you to everybody that was online here.
I'm sorry, that's it. And Andy said that noise was the internet finally realizing how awesome he is. Okay, Andy, go for it.
That'd actually be great if it did a foghorn, like all of a sudden,
All right. Well, if you'd like that, Will, you can do that on your channel. You can put a custom sound clip on.
I don't know if your viewers or subscribers know this or not, but YouTube has actually just recently made a change in the live streaming world. You want to talk about that for a minute?
Well, we can do that. Because most of the people in here all have channels.
Lindsay,
not everybody.
No, if you do super chat, it pops up. I don't know if you've ever done one. It pops up as far as who gave the super chat and how much. It'll show up.
Yep. And we appreciate those too, as well as we have Patreon out there if anybody's interested in that.
Jason,
what's he doing now?
But we can't tell Robin, and we have to hook it up to scare her.
Speakers. They're like the loudest speakers you could have.
Jason, I have a few other Gmail accounts that I can get in on and do that.
and you do
he wants a foghorn though.
You do have to be using an encoder program like OBS in order to do this, because you're actually pulling a I'm going to call it a web widget.
He wants it.
So and I'm pretty sure you do. So
Rusty, that could be true, and that could also be that Jason may be sleeping on the couch that night.
You can live stream from the couch.
Well, they use OBS. There you go, Lindsay. This is what happens when you do the super chat. The only thing with super chat is YouTube takes a portion of it.
Well,
it didn't do it.
Homestead Dad, one of the changes that YouTube made just recently was now anyone who does a live stream, the chat stays with the video. They didn't do that. Daryl found a way to do that a while back, and he was doing it, then everybody says, how'd you do that?
Yeah, no, that's a nice feature too, that they keep that with it, so even later on down the road, you don't have to worry about it.
You got it, exactly.
Well, of course, all of our live streams were like that. And we didn't depend on YouTube for that. But did you see that somebody gave us a super chat? Did you see that?
Did you not listen to what I just said?
Well, no, because I was listening to some other things here. But
yes, dear, I saw that.
I see lizards. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, Will did a super chat, so Lindsay could see what it did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it didn't do it. I thought it was going to get the foghorn.
No, No,
Or
Super Chat doesn't do
blowing at
anything.
Ethan's house right now, and Robin's running around like, what does that sound?
No, I don't. It's not set up for super chats, but and I'm not sure.
Allie,
there might
I'm
be
over
one you
here
can
in
do
the
that.
corner. You can't see me tonight. I'm not showing on the Tuesday night.
I could
No,
fix
we're
that.
not doing that.
Okay. Well, if nothing else, we're having a good time. So
That's the only change that I know of.
Other changes to what?
Probably YouTube is what he's talking
I
about.
think we started to talk about, but we haven't continued the changes that they made for the live stream, like from a computer, where you don't have to have an encoder, you don't have to go through Hangouts.
Yeah, no, that is there. Well, so a while back they ditched a lot of the support for third-party encoders and also the stuff for Google Hangouts. And within the last, I think it was 2 weeks or something like that, they added, if you go into your video manager, if you're in the classic style, not the new style, I hate the new style. I always go back to the classic, but that's a whole other topic. But if you go into the video side and there's an option for live stream, schedule live stream, and then live now, I think is what they call it. And there's a little button there that says new. When you click on it, if you've ever live streamed from your phone or device, it asks you, what do you want to call it? Do you want it public or private? And then go, and then you make a face, or you make whatever your thumbnail is going to be, and then you hit OK, and it streams. Well, they took that exact same setup, which is kind of a low latency live stream capability, and they built it into computers to the point where people who are on slow internet or on a slower connection or a slower computer that doesn't have the ability to do all the encoding and all the OBS fancy stuff, and they just want to kind of do down and dirty, straightforward, press a button, start talking to the screen, and go, you have the ability to do that. A lot of the fancy stuff like the phone line piece and the Filmora and the graphics and the multiple boxes, you won't be able to do any of that stuff. Literally, it just starts to stream and you just go. The stream I did Sunday actually used that because it allowed me to connect online and kind of do what I needed to because I have a low internet connection. So that's the other change, is that's when that changed.
Well, Jason is saying in here that you can't live stream on Walmart anymore. Does that mean on their property? Is that what
No, he said a while back he did some interviews, and those were great. And I enjoyed that, Jason. Those were great. He says, ever since I did my interviews, now they block it.
Really?
Who blocks it, Jason? I mean...
Oh, he can go live on Facebook, but not YouTube anymore. Just in Walmart, I'm assuming you mean Big Bear, Jason?
Were you
Sorry.
doing live streams on your phone at Walmart, or were you doing them on a computer?
Oh, he was walking around with his phone. It was cool.
Walking around with a desktop computer and a big monitor and a screen, and all that stuff with an extension cord.
Yeah, you got a couple laptops set up in a grocery cart, pushing it around the store. So that's very interesting, Big Bear. I'm for them to single out YouTube.
Now, Jason, we're going to have to go to Walmart tomorrow so Daryl can check this out. I can just see it.
I'm wondering if it's just at Walmart or if it's all Walmarts.
Yeah, I bet we're going to check it tomorrow.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. Rusty Bell says he went and got on from the electronics department. So,
did you get on live on YouTube, Rusty? Because that's where Jason said that's where the issue is. Oh, we'll go ahead and do it. Well, we can give that a shot tomorrow. I have to go out and go to the post office anyway, so.
Tigger bouncing. Yes, we made the trip today.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
And Andy says
streaming live from Walmart.
Yeah, Andy says we should all stream from Walmart.
Rusty, they sure aren't hiding those people that wear inappropriate clothing, that's for sure. Good Lord.
Yeah, only at Walmart.
What's that?
What what is that site? People of Walmart or something like that. Where
That is still a thing? Holy cow, that was a thing when I was in college.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
oh yeah, and it's not gotten any better. It's not improved.
Lord.
I guess it won't. Yeah.
Question about the Bill of Rights. Okay, so. Well, you know, I'm beginning to wonder if the phone works. Jason, call in here. Give us a call.
Yeah, I haven't talked to you in like forever.
Yeah, Jason, I'm going to go find that video. Do you mind? Is it still up? I'll post it so people can grab and go view it. I thought it was fantastic. But call in, Jason.
Martians or something like that. Well, it's been interesting.
I was in hysterics.
Michael Gross, hello.
Michael Gross from Oregon.
Thanks for stopping
Right,
in.
Michael? I'm not even looking at it, and I know that's where you are. Let's see. Okay, folks, ask a question. I'm looking for a video.
Yeah, I get paid by the hour, so I'm on for long mistakes.
Well, I have to apologize that my intro for you was not as robust as Brad's was, but you just were paid enough tonight.
Oh, do we have a caller?
Yep.
We have a caller. This is Daryl. Who's calling, please?
That's right. Will hasn't been on with us since phones.
Who's calling, please?
Well, you told me to call. What do you mean who's calling? You just told me to call.
I wonder who this is.
Caller.
All right, that should work a little better. I had you echoized.
You sure did. I'm still looking for the video, Jason. What about?
It should be a live. Should be a live stream.
Does it say Walmart?
Back around, what was it? When did Tommy Alderman challenge me to do that? Was it right around Christmas or Thanksgiving?
Okay.
I think.
Technology.
Okay, I'll look under the things for the live streams. You keep talking and I'll look.
And I know somebody else called right behind this person. I can only take one call at a time. So when Jason is finished...
If that person has a question, then I can hang up because I was just calling because you told me to.
Well,
what's up, Will?
Well, we know.
How you doing, buddy? I haven't talked to you in forever.
I know, man. We took a break for a little while to let a lot of the drama calm down, and then we got an invention out on the table that's going to be going to Salatin's farm, hopefully here around Memorial Day. We're waiting for all the patent paperwork to go through. I was amazed how expensive to get a patent it is.
Oh my gosh, I'm working on one right now, and it's been 2.5 years. So
yeah, it's crazy. But and then you gotta be careful for the scammers that are out there too. Because it's like they got you flagged somehow, and then you start getting contacted by all these people. You don't know where the next $1 million invention will come from. Please send us pictures in your prints. And I'm like, no.
Daryl's dad had like a whole book full of patents.
Well, he had 26. Mm-hmm. 26 patents.
Yeah, he worked for Westinghouse way back when, and my mom had one on some of the electric stoves. They had what was called burner with a brain. That was Daryl's dad's invention.
Very cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had. I was amazed when first time I met them. He took me down the basement to show me all his patents that were all on the wall. So it was cute. It was cool.
So did you do any trapping this last winter?
No, I didn't. I did get a couple coyotes. We did some what is the calling? Where you have the device and then the thing spins. We've done a little of that.
Yeah.
And, the neighbor got one and we got one. Other than that, the snow and the weather has been unrelenting here. I don't know if you follow on Instagram or if you've seen any of the pictures online. We have 32 inches of snow in the yard, and we're supposed to get a snowstorm that's coming through this weekend. 6 inches on Friday,
Good
11
Lord.
inches on Saturday, and 4 inches on Sunday. So that's 21 inches of snow on top of what we already have. I've had to shovel the roof off of the cabin probably 3 or 4 times now. So it's like we could potentially have fishing opener in Wisconsin on the ice instead of in a boat.
Wow.
Crazy.
Nice.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, but I thought we were in global warming.
Yeah, Mother Nature's gone wild.
Something changed. I lost a bet to somebody. I said, "Oh man, we should get more snow," and they're like, "Oh, okay." And they pulled the lever. So the biggest worry for me is so our apple orchard is on its 5th year now, and at this point in time, the root balls are usually exposed, and we're starting to get the rain wet cycle kind of mid-April, which then pushes the frost out of the ground, so we have budding out. If we don't get that soon, potentially the trees are going to run out of energy over the winter time, and I could potentially have a significant kill off, which means I'd have to start over. And being 5 years into it and only having baby trees still, it's a serious thing that we're worried about on the property right now.
Yeah. How well did you mulch around them? Did you mulch around them okay?
2 years ago, we built 2x6 mulching boxes that were 4 feet or 3 feet by 3 feet, and then I filled the box completely all the way to the top with wood chips. So I've got at least a 3 foot by 3 foot square around them that's anywhere between 6 and 8 inches thick.
You should be okay.
Yeah,
I hope so.
I would think so.
Somebody asked if we're in Wisconsin. We are. We're in Wisconsin, right next to the Arctic Circle. So here's Wisconsin, and here's the Arctic Circle, and we are right there.
And for those of you in the chat, the fellow on the phone here, Jason, Big Bear Homestead, is going to be a guest here in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks. So
I can call and ask all my questions about trapping. We can talk about trapping for a half an hour.
You sure can. Yeah, you can call in and just give him all kinds of help.
He was amazing to watch at the Homesteaders of America conference last October, because I've never seen anything like that. So I just sort of stood in the background, but he was just amazing.
So we were on spring break today, and I drove over to go see a friend earlier this afternoon, and on the way over there, we drove through the Flambeau National Forest, which, by the way, has a sign that says there's no gas station or stops for the next 40 miles, so make sure you have enough gas, because there's nothing past this point. And we're driving along, and all of a sudden, I see this brown mass off to the side of the road, so I start slowing down, and I end up stopping the truck, and 3 elk come walking out of the woods. I have never seen an elk live. I mean, I've seen them but there was one live, and it literally walked right across in front of the vehicles and stuff like that, and stood there for 15 minutes, and we got to see the live elk in the state forest today, which was pretty neat.
Oh, that's awesome. How big were they? Because I've never seen one in the wild or live either.
It literally, a little bit bigger than a cow, a little bit smaller than a horse. It wasn't messing around. Earlier that day, I saw some deer, and the deer would run underneath it. It looked like they were huge. They had to been 600 to 900 pounds easily each. They were huge. If you would have hit it with your vehicle, it wouldn't be like hitting a deer where you can possibly get it fixed. It would be a total loss. I mean, they're ridiculous in size, and it was so majestic and awesome. It was just the sun was coming up, and they just moved right across the road in front of us, and we sat there and watched them, like I said, for probably 15 minutes. It was pretty neat.
That's awesome.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm gonna hang up because it sounded like you got a couple more callers.
Well, we had somebody try, but I've mentioned I can only take one at a time, and right now you're it. So, Jason, thank you for calling in. You confirmed everything's working on this end, and I'm real curious. Will, how did it sound to you over there?
The call sounded great. It sounded, there was no issues at all. There was a beeping sound or something like that, but other than that, that was it.
And that could have been the other call.
In the very beginning, I had a little bit of echo, a little bit of feedback with me, but now that's gone now. So
it was old
great.
Alabama gardener that was trying to call.
Oh, is that who it was?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
trying, but I can't
Alabama Gardener, how you doing? I haven't talked to you in forever.
Well, Jason,
it's like old home week. I'm seeing everybody I've
Jason, I'm gonna let you go, Jason, and we'll let Charles call in.
All right, cool. Later.
Bye bye. Okay, Charles, phone line is open. Hurry, it's your turn.
Before Brenda calls and orders a possum pizza.
We're taking caller number 7 to see who knows how many times did Theodore Roosevelt run around the White House.
Thing is, you have to know the answer.
63.
There we go. Hello, this is Daryl. Who's calling, please?
Hello, Dell.
Hey, Charles. How are you?
Charles.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we got connected, huh?
Yes, we got connected. Old Alabama gardener on the phone.
Okay. I guess we got connected, huh?
Yes, we got connected. Okay. Old Alabama gardener on the phone.
Well, I wanted to ask Will a question.
He's
and the question is, he's talking about a lot of snow, and I understand that. Do you ever have a gardening season? And the question is,
do I ever have a gardening season? Yes, our gardening season usually starts about the 3rd week of June and goes until about the 1st week of July, usually. But that's only if there's not rain and black flies. In all seriousness, usually we plant about Memorial Day weekend, and we go until just after Labor Day weekend. So fortunately, I can find some other ways to grow, maybe house or something like that. Memorial Day weekend, and we go until just after Labor Day weekend.
Okay, Charles, your YouTube is coming back through the phone. If you could turn down your YouTube and just talk on the phone.
I just turned it off.
All right, that'll work. So.
Oh, perfect! I can hear you now. Did you hear what I said, or
say that again?
So, our growing season usually starts Memorial Day weekend is when we plant, the weekend before or the week of, and then usually goes until probably mid-September, later in September. One of the challenges that I've been working on our property, and I've been kind of designing it this year for youth next year, which is we are going to build a greenhouse on the property to see if I can extend the growing season, and we're going to try to heat it to get an extra, let's say, 4 or 6 weeks on the front end of the season. Cool. Because, like right now, we have seeds started in the basement, but with all the snow and the water and scenario we have with the frost in the ground, I'm worried that our seedlings are going to get so big to the point where we won't have a chance to put them in the ground because our weather is so messed up this year.
Yeah, that's why I haven't started any seeds yet either, Will.
We're having the same kind of a problem here. I've got seedlings that I would have normally put in the ground a week ago, 2 weeks ago maybe, and I don't anticipate being able to do it for another week because my weatherman is forecasting a frost for one of the days in the next 7 days, so I don't want to lose all the plants I've grown since, early February, so you just have to hold on to them. But the greenhouse is a great idea.
We have, so I don't know if you knew this or any of the other viewers knew this, but we remodeled our property 2 years ago now and finished it last year. And one of the parts was we changed out all the windows in the house and replaced them. Well, I kept all of those windows specifically for the idea of doing the sidewalls of the greenhouse in the old windows of the house. And then all I'd really have to buy is the polycarbonate that I'd use on the roof to, make the reinforced roofing and stuff like that. So my hope is, as everybody knows, I like to do building projects, and once the snow is gone, that's going to be one of the first projects we do is we build a formal, I'm probably thinking 12-foot by 16-foot greenhouse that we can use to extend some of our growing season so we can enjoy plants longer.
Yeah. Did you see, Will?
Yeah, one of the things you're going to have to contend with, of course, is the snow load.
Yeah, no, I was going to actually do it at construction grade, so it'd be the same grade as trusses, 24 on center across the top, which would be the same as what your house would have. So I'm hoping that with that we should have the ability to carry the snow load. I have looked at hoop houses. My buddy Eric, who does Garden Fork, he talks a lot about hoop houses, and we talk about it on his podcast a lot. But one of the issues is that they're notorious for having the plastic, cave in on them because of the snow load. So that's one of the reasons why I think I'm going to go the route of the greenhouse, which is a little bit more expensive, but hopefully it'll last a lot longer than a hoop house would.
Yeah. Well, yeah, a hoop house is It's the least expensive way to go, so probably don't want to do that.
Yep. What part of the country are you in again?
Alabama.
Alabama, that's right.
North part of Alabama, actually.
You guys have a frost warning this late in the season?
Say it again?
I said you have a frost warning this late in the season?
Yeah, it's very unusual for us. Most of the time, I'm planting stuff by the 1st of April, but not this year.
The crazy one for us on our property this year, and if a lot of people follow along, they know that we have a sugar bush or a maple syrup operation that we run out of there for our own personal use, and we use them as gifts and things like that. But 2 weeks ago, I went out in the snow and we dug out the spots for the 5-gallon buckets. We put them down, we ran all the hoses and set everything up, and then we got a massive snowfall. And if you look out across where all the trees are, all you see is a blue tube that comes out of the tree and goes into the snow. And I went out today to check them, and I only, by this point in time, normally in the season, I have 115 gallons of sap that I've collected, maybe 200. So far, I only have 13 gallons, which is crazy for at this point in time. By tax day, I'm usually done boiling. Right now, I'm not even started.
Is that because of the cold weather is holding the sap from coming up?
Yeah, it ran for about a week, and we got, like I said, 15 gallons or so, 13 to 15 gallons. And then it actually, on April 3rd, it was 5 degrees outside, which is very cold for this time of year. Normally we see those temperatures in January, and we're seeing them in April. Well, that shut everything down across the board.
Yeah, and that's happening all across the country, having colder temperatures than normal.
Yep.
Well, all right, I'll get off. I enjoy talking with you and enjoy watching you and looking at the things you guys are doing. And, best thing to say is keep on doing it.
Well, thanks. I'm glad to be back, and thank you for always being supportive. I remember you were one of our first subscribers, and you dropped me some emails at one point in time, and we talked back and forth a little bit. So it's glad for the support and everything like that. And I'll check out some of your updates. I haven't gotten back to getting on YouTube, but now that I am, I'll see if you have any updates out there and check those out too.
Charles?
Well, I fully understand that when you're busy with the other things in life and you're trying to be a content creator and what have you, you don't have a whole lot of time to watch other people's videos, and I know that. So I understand.
Charles?
No worries.
Charles?
Yes?
Yeah, before you go, this is Daryl. I just want to know how you're doing. I know you had a stint put in this year.
You know what? That was strange. I'd been feeling bad for about 3-4 weeks, and I just thought it was something going around, And so finally I decided I'd give up and go to the emergency room, and man, they put me in a surgery, and they said I had an artery that was trying to block. It wasn't blocked, but they said it was trying to block. And so after that, though, I felt great. Matter of fact, I just came in because I quit working because it got dark. But I've been working all day hard too. I'm pretty tired. I'll be hitting the bed here, probably not very long.
well, don't do too much of that dancing until you're fully healed up here.
Oh, I'm
He'll say
you know
that
how
for the
tough a
conference.
nail is? Well, I'm as tough as a nail.
Okay, Charles. Thank you for calling. Appreciate it.
All right, good to talk with you, and you guys be careful.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
All right.
That is the coolest thing.
Well, yeah, we're covering all over the country here. We're getting calls from down south and talking to people up north, and we're kind of in the middle.
Yep, we are.
But it's too cold to do anything here, too, outside.
Michael says he's scrambling to get his lawnmower serviced so he can mow the grass.
I would have to snow blow for like an hour and a half just to see the grass before we could even get to the point of
I don't envy you at all.
Somebody made a comment. Is this the same guy who got electrocuted today on live internet? Yes, it is. I am that same guy. So I went to go visit a friend who lives also in Wisconsin. They moved here a while back, and went to go visit their farm and stuff, and we did some stuff that we needed to get taken care of. And we were messing around with the live stream this afternoon, and they have this thing where they put this electrode thing my arm, and then they press the button and you get electrocuted. It was shocking.
No doubt.
Okay. Well, we've had very interesting hour here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, if anybody got any more questions, or we're gonna have Will back again. I know. I'm not sure what I know. Is it next week you're not going to be available, or?
The 17th was the one day that I wouldn't be able to unless we went a little bit later. I've got a city council meeting on the 17th. Other than that, I would be available if you guys wanted to do it on Monday or Wednesday. I'd be potentially open for that. Shocking, unintended. That's pretty funny.
Well, we certainly can't do it Monday. Oh, we got another call here.
Caller number 5, you're on the air.
All right. Hi, June.
Hi. I'm sorry I fell asleep, so I missed everything that you said, but I'll watch the playback.
Okay.
It's good to see you.
Well, it's June Gall is who it is.
How you doing, sweetie?
I'm okay.
How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Good. I like watching your cooking live streams when you have the music blaring and just dancing in the kitchen doing your cooking.
I'll be doing one tomorrow night, so y'all better be watching.
I will make sure that we do. About what time?
A shameless plug there, around 7
hey.
Central Time.
Plug away.
What was the channel?
7 Central Time. I'll be doing one of my cooking and dancing live stream.
It's June Gall.
Kind of missed it, but I'll be doing one tomorrow, so y'all better be watching. I'll be doing an Oriental cabbage.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
It's Western cabbage, but it's cooked the Oriental way. So,
okay. I'll definitely go and try that. I like cabbage.
Yeah, Christy Betts is saying happy birthday, June.
Thank you ever so much, everybody.
June is everyone's sweetheart. She sure is.
Yeah, Rebel Rose Connie is saying hello, and
yeah.
So yeah, it's always a pleasure to hear from you, June.
Well, I'll be watching the replay just to let you know. I'm sorry, Will.
Well, you go back and take another
It
nap.
has nothing to do with you, but I'm sorry I fell asleep.
Hey, when your body says sleep, you have to do it.
Yeah, Will, you're just putting him to sleep tonight.
I'm sorry, do you have any questions at all?
I tried calling in yesterday, but you know how far behind my internet is.
Yes.
I saw you were going, and I tried calling in yesterday, and you were gone already. I'm like, no. So, all right, I'll get off here and let you finish up. But,
well,
I love
take
you
care,
all.
June. Love you too, sweetie.
I love you, Carol and Cheryl.
You take care of yourself, honey.
You take care.
I will do.
Okay, bye-bye.
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 Yeah.
All right.
And Mary Smith says she was outside cutting the grass today. Ours is like a mud pit.
I don't know where Mary Smith is at.
Mary, where are you located at? What state? Some folks, I know where they are. Some of the new ones I don't.
So.
All goes quiet on the home front.
Yep, it all went quiet.
Hang on, hello?
Yeah, really. Oh, Georgia.
But it sounds like there's a heck of a temperature difference between North and South Georgia.
Well, speaking of Georgia, hey Rose, how you doing, sweetie?
Rose.
That was our guest last night.
Yes.
That was a fun evening.
Yes, very very nice night last night.
It sure was.
Has anybody broken the 3-hour record yet?
No. We were 2 hours. We were two plus hours with Joel Salatin.
Yeah, that surprised me. I mean, Joel did a fabulous job. Because, I mean, he had no computer in front of him. We had to relay all questions to him, and he was just on the phone, and it was just fabulous.
Nice.
And what I started to say earlier was Joel Salatin actually approved of Jason's trapping stuff. I mean, he made mention on the stage in front of everybody down there that this is the man you got to talk to about trapping. So, Big Bear Homestead, if you got trapping questions, that's the guy to go to.
Yeah, you're right. If it ever melts, it melts. It melts here, and then everything gets soggy, and then instead of being nice, then it decides to rain and makes it worse. And then we're supposed to be up in the 70s by Saturday, and then next week right back down again.
Yeah.
I would actually like it if it rained here, just to knock down some of the ice and get some of the stuff kind of cleaned up a little bit. But it's just unrelenting, one layer after another after another. We ran out of firewood in the main firewood storage that we had built by the house, so I had to go to the upper. And we took the Kubota out, and we basically dug a path 2 Kubotas wide, through the snow for about 55 feet to get into the wood yard where we have all the firewood stored. And had to keep, you take a scoop in, and then you'd go down, and you take another scoop in, and you go down and do the one off the ground, and you just keep doing that over and over again to get all the snow out of there, just to get firewood. And normally, we time our firewood to be done about beginning of April, because that's usually when we start seeing warmer temperatures. And right now it's 18 degrees outside, so I had to go up and get 2 more pickup truck loads of wood and bring them down to the house, so we're good through the rest of April here.
Okay. Grizz, I don't know what it's like where you're at. I don't know if you're still in the freezing weather or not, but we pretty much covered the country here tonight.
Good to see you. How's everything going? I see your channel is doing really, really well. It's I took some time off, and now I'm back on the internet and everything else, and I've noticed everybody's channel just went whoop and started growing up and everything like that, and everybody's doing a great job, so good to see. Good to see.
I hear you, Brenda. We Daryl went out last week and got a ton.
Yeah, another ton.
Another ton of pellets for our pellet burners. Yep. So I know what you're doing.
How many pellet burners do you guys run?
2. And they're both downstairs, but they heat the whole house. We have an
There it is.
There you go, Will.
What was that?
Mary Smith, thank you for subscribing.
Thank you,
we
Mary.
appreciate it very much.
They're both in the basement. We have electric radiant heat, and it's up in the ceiling. So you can, first time we tried it, Daryl was sitting on the couch here in the living room, and it was like the sun was beating down on you. It was the strangest feeling. But it also made our winter bills $600 plus every month.
Yeah,
We said, we can't do that. So we put one in where the fireplace is down in the family room downstairs. And then we found another one on Craigslist. Went out and got that one, and that one's in the garage, which is right underneath the kitchen. So, and that heats up the whole house.
Yeah, we have gone through just over 6 ton of pellets this year, which is more than usual.
Pretty crazy. So Wholesome Roots, you're almost to 5,000, and I think I just passed 4,100. I'm wondering, would you want to race to 5,000 and see who can get there first? See if you want to race, send me an email and we'll figure out a little contest or something like that. Since both of us are pretty close to it, and we'll race to see who gets there if you want to do that. So let me know.
The only thing I hear, Rose, are dogs. Or a cat meowing, maybe. Thank goodness.
Somebody asked, was the question, do we have a lot of problems with coyotes? I think that would be, is that the question?
Yes, Christy asked that, exactly.
Yes, so we live in the middle of nowhere. And when I say the middle of nowhere, like I just passed the sign middle of nowhere and we drove past it to get to here. we have 160 acres out in the middle of the state forest, and we're surrounded by thousands of acres. And we've had lots of coyote issues on the property. Our neighbors have had issues. I think one of them lost a dog last year to a coyote issue, and there's been a number of issues with them in the area. We try to be responsible about our harvest on our property in the sense of we do harvest wild game. You know, I shot a deer last year. My dad shot one also. You know, I do some small game and bird hunting on the property. But one of the biggest problems we had when we first bought it was huge issues with coyotes. And the neighbors kind of got together, and there were some farmers that were having issues, and we were having some issues. So we all got together and kind of worked as a group to kind of control the population a little bit better, because it was running pretty rampant. Nowadays, it's a lot better. We used to see, 5 or 6 coyotes on a trail camera in a week. Now we see, 1 or 2 every couple weeks. So, we're in a much better position. But, it's one of those things where when people start having problems on their farms and start having problems with their animals and things like that, that's kind of where we need to step in and at least do a little bit of control on something like that. I'm not out there, shooting everything under the sun. I'm a very big conservationist in that sense, but definitely something for us to consider, and that's something we did as a group of neighbors together.
Is the coyote considered to be a pest there that can be hunted year round, or? Yep. Okay. Yep, it's a nuisance animal. It falls into like where raccoons are and things like that. And that is one of the issues, is people have problems with their chickens or whatever. I mean, if you leave something unattended outside, they used to roam in pretty big packs and things like that, and you could hear them at night. And quite honestly, it sounded kind of like a horror movie outside with all the different sounds and things like that. So, very good. So, well, I'm looking back through here. I think what we'll probably do is we'll probably wrap this up. We still got to do dinner. Well, I don't know about you. Have you eaten dinner yet?
I have. Have you noticed that I'm much thinner now on the internet? So, I'm kidding. We had dinner just before the show here. So,
well, we were distracted by another live stream here earlier. I'm sure everybody out there knows Living on a Dime. Well, they're talking about going to Ireland. So,
that's a great place. I know a lot about that area. We had an office working over there for 3 years, a couple years ago. So
anyway, we were on their stream and watching that, and I was getting ready here and forgot to change the title on this stream. And Weetree so kindly helped me out, and so it's been a good evening. Folks, I hope that you enjoyed this evening. We'll have him back in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
So, come up with some questions. You can email them to Two Family Homestead, or you can email them to the Weekend Homestead. Either one.
Yep.
And we'll certainly stay in touch.
Most definitely. Let me know if anything has come up or if there's any questions or anything like that, and I'd be happy to do this again and discuss things. And we're looking at really making a push on this in the next couple months on YouTube and just kind of rebuilding the community. It was nice to do. We did a live stream on Sunday night, just kind of impromptu, threw something together, and got to reconnect with a whole bunch of people. And it's nice to be part of the community again. So that's kind of one of the big things for us. So we appreciate you having me on tonight, for sure.
Okay. I don't see any other questions. Did we get everything, Sherry? Mm-hmm. All right, folks, you have a wonderful evening, a great week. We will see you next Monday night with the 1870s Homestead.
1870s Homestead.
1870 Homesteads next Monday.
And then the Monday after that is Big Bear.
Yeah, Big Bear in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you, Stephen. Appreciate that.
Have a great night.
Thank you, Will.
Have a great week.
For coming on.
Yes, thank you, Will.
Don't forget to check me out on the Weekend Homestead on YouTube. If you don't know who I am, just click on the doobly-doo below. Other than that, just a shameless plug at the end here.
Will, type something in there so they can just go to your link off
your name.
Off your name.
And Rose wants you to email her.
Rose, are you still doing your Steam It blogs? Folks, to get to the Weekend Homestead, if you go over to the end, you'll see 3 dots. Left click on that, and then at the top it'll say Go to Channel. If you right click there, you can do an open link in new tab. That way it won't take you out of this screen. And then you can
the thumbs
subscribe.
up too. Don't forget the thumbs up.
Yep, thumbs up always helps the channels and the guests that we have.
So, okay, folks, have a wonderful week.
Have a wonderful evening and week, and some of you I'll be chatting with on Facebook, and others through our email.
Good night.
That's about it. Have a good night.